Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you 5 ways that I've been growing as an artist this year. Number 1, I stopped making art. So I'm sure you're probably thinking, what is this idiot talking about? How are you going to grow as an artist if you're not actually making art? Okay, so I didn't stop making art entirely. I simply stopped making the art that I didn't want to make. I was experiencing a lot of burnout, which is something I'll get to later on in the video. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to create art that would make me money, which is not a good reason to be making art in the first place, and making art that I just thought other people wanted to see, rather than making the art that I wanted to make. So I stopped making that art. This meant turning down commissions and book projects that just weren't really vibing with me. And you know what? This freed up a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time. This also meant that I wasn't making any income, which is okay because I'm very blessed to live at home with my parents rent-free. But by not making as much art, it allowed me to spend time doing some other things that I hadn't really had time for previously. With all this free time on my hands, I started trying new things and spending more time with the people I love. I began teaching myself the ukulele. I'm absolutely obsessed with fingerpicking, and oh my goodness, it is one of the most fun things that I've gotten to try. I started taking my yoga practice more seriously. With all this extra time on my hands, I also decided to do something totally on a whim that I've always wanted to do but never really thought was gonna be a possibility, and that's applying for a barista job at a local coffee shop. And you know what? I love it. Seriously, I could be making billions of dollars as an artist, and I guarantee you I would still be a part-time barista. I've always loved coffee, and I love the way it brings people together. I've gotten to meet so many people from all over the country that are just passing through my little town, just looking for a good cup of coffee. Coffee is such a beautiful experience, and I get to give that to people. So many artists claim that you have to be putting in 10-hour workdays to truly be considered an artist, and that's just not sustainable, and it's not healthy. Like, I guarantee you, if you're spending that much time doing art every day, your body is probably screaming at you to get up and get moving. We are not meant to sit at a desk all day. Workaholism is a big issue in the art industry, and that's something that I really want to take down with this channel. This leads me to my next tip. Let go of other people's opinions. Other people's opinions are a really big burden when you decide to carry them. When I graduated high school in the beginning of 2020, shout out to all my fellow COVID grads, most people felt it was their duty to tell me exactly what they thought I needed to do with my life. And let me tell you, I did not handle that well. Following directions and guidance is not my strong suit. When I was little, my parents could literally say, "Allie, you better not go clean your room. I'm serious, don't do it." And my defiant little 2-year-old self would say, "Watch me." And off I'd run to go clean my room. Thankfully, my parents were nice and didn't use this to manipulate me often. But anyways, you get the point. I don't like being told what to do. Letting go of other people's expectations of what my education should be, what my art should be, and what I should be was very freeing. It allowed me to create the art that I wanted to create and pursue avenues of learning that worked for me. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a solid plan. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm 19. I got time. Like I said, I'm very blessed to have parents that aren't planning on kicking me out anytime soon, and I know that's a privilege that a lot of people my age don't have. But not jumping straight into college because
that's the only way to get a real job
has given me time to figure out things at my own pace. Which brings me to my next tip. Give yourself the space to grow. If you're always putting pressure on yourself to succeed, you're never going to get anywhere. Failure is an absolutely essential part of growth as an artist and as a person, and if you fill your life with so much stuff and so many plans that you believe you have to succeed at, you're just going to end up burnt out and unhappy. Trying to figure out my life straight out of high school only ever led to me curled up in my bed crying with crippling fear. Letting go of the need to have a perfect plan gave me the space to grow. I believe that only God knows the plan for my life, and trusting that He's going to lead me step by step has been crucial in giving myself space to grow. I daily provided challenges for my mom homeschooling me as I grew up. I never learned in a normal way. My mom always said that if the box of normalcy was here, I was here. But she took the time to teach me in ways that I would understand, and she gave me the space to grow in my own way. For years, I tried to study like other people and read like other people, and it just never worked out for me. I learned in my own way. So when I was finally patient with myself and applied that same method of grace to my art, I began to experience art in new ways and learn about creating art in ways that I would understand. Which brings me to my next tip. Number 4, learn. And not just about art. The first tip touched on this a bit, but you need to get out into the world and experience it. Learn new things, try new foods, pick up a new hobby. The moment you accept that there's more to life than art is the moment your art begins to enrich itself with the life you're living outside of it. Taking a social psychology class allowed me to give deeper meaning to some of my illustrations through things like facial expressions from my characters. Learning how to bake and becoming a barista gave me a love for illustrating food that I never knew I had. I learned so much about the textures and the color saturation of food by experiencing it outside of art. My job as a barista was actually the inspiration for this illustration. That amazing feeling when you get a cup of coffee and you know it is gonna make your day. Even the puppy in the character's purse knows that a cinnamon roll is one of the 5 major food groups. When I was painting these, I could almost smell the cinnamon rolls fresh out of the oven. And yeah, I've been taking some really great art classes, but I'm also making time to learn about things totally unrelated to art. And you know what? It's changed my art for the better. Maybe I don't create as many pieces, but it makes the pieces that I do create a lot more meaningful. Like I said earlier, I've dealt with some pretty serious burnout as an artist over the last couple of years, and thankfully this year has been very healing for me. But it's also taken a lot of time and a lot of patience and a lot of compassion on myself. After months of taking on client work that I didn't really want to be doing, it got to the point where I literally hated the thought of sitting down to make anything. And it was then that I realized, what's the point? If art is no longer enjoyable to me in any way, then why am I even doing it anymore? I realized this wasn't just regular resistance, this was full-on burnout and something needed to change. In fact, a lot of things needed to change. One of the things I started doing that's helped me a lot with my burnout is journaling. It helped me gain a better understanding of why I was going through burnout and how to get out of it. So I want to share with you a little excerpt of one of my journal entries. At the heart of it, I still love art. I still love to just sit and draw and paint, but it was my mindset that was burnt out, not the art itself. I'm consciously reworking my attitude. I'm letting art be what it is and not have some specific product in mind. I want to rebuild the relationship that I broke with my art. So when I gave myself space to grow and just let art be what it is, I started finding joy in the process of creating again. I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to constantly be creating and monetizing those creations. I've really been practicing playfulness in my art, and it's led to some illustrations that I'm actually really proud of, like this one. So I've been working on this piece for about, probably 5 or 6 months by this point, and let me tell you, it went through many iterations. This room got flipped around so many times. The perspective was entirely different, the main character was a fox. I thought I was going to go with a teal color palette. But little by little, I worked on it without any huge expectations. Just a simple idea of a feeling I wanted to evoke. I even put down the piece for a month or so because it just wasn't really flowing. But one day I picked it up again and it all just snowballed from there. Was it always easy? No. Was it always enjoyable? Heck no. But overall, I trusted the process and I let the piece become what it is. And honestly, it's one of my favorite pieces that I've ever done. It's certainly one of the biggest. 2021 has definitely been a year of growth for me, and I'm very grateful for that. If you stop learning and you stop practicing and you stop being playful, that's the moment that I believe you're no longer an artist anymore. So as long as I keep doing those things, I'm going to keep growing as an artist. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you'd take the time to like it and share and subscribe.